Welcome to the Journey podcast.
Thank you so much, Nobert. Yeah.
It's a pleasure having you around.
Most welcome. It's a pleasure to be here. Yeah.
You know, let me just take it from the last conversation we had, the last time that I met you. I remember when we last met this earlier this year, like at the Lutetious Women event, you shared something about your weight loss journey. And so take us through it. How has been the journey? I understand it's a struggle to the top on its own. It takes commitment, discipline. Tell us more. How has been the journey?
I think the journey has been great. It's been fantastic. Congratulations on your journey to the top.
Thank you.
In terms of what you are setting out to do, your vision to get to the top. Well, my journey in particular has been fantastic. With every journey, when we start with the journey, there's a starting point. There's a starting point. And Mao Zedong say these words: the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Somebody also has invented what is known as the 5-second rule, where you just count up to 5 seconds from the minute you wake up, then you get out of the bed. And that's simply to propel people towards what is called execution. Because without execution, your dreams just become dreams and you go with them to the grave. But execution is the bridge between your dreams and your destiny. The key is not to dream about getting it done, but it's actually getting it done. And so for me personally, my journey has been about execution and getting it done. And that's really, for me, where it started, getting it done. And getting it done started in the year 2022. I've been morbidly obese, I think now for over 35 years of my life.
Well, that's a lot of years.
Yes.
I'm way more younger than that year, but
yeah. Wow. I turned 55 in November of this year. I know I'm 40, but I turned 55 this year. And for me, I had to make a decision when I was turning 53. That is in the year 52 in the year 2022. But the decision was made in the year 2020 in July when my father passed away and I contracted COVID 3 days after he had buried him. And that then started my struggle in earnest. It was a time where a lot of obese people were being taken by COVID because of the underlying issues they had with hypertension, blood pressure, and diabetes, and so forth and so forth. And so, in earnest, my journey started then. But officially, my journey started in the year 2022. In January 2022, I weighed about 200 kgs. But I started my journey a little bit in the middle of 2021, walking, but not knowing full information about weight loss. But officially, my journey started on the 14th of March, 2022. And I was weighing about 194 kgs then. Yeah.
so how much do you weigh now?
I'm now weighing 112 kgs.
Wow, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
You mentioned something that was it an awakening call after the passing of your father to say, I need to change, I need to make a decision to improve myself?
It was immediately after my dad passed. Before that, of course I wanted to lose weight, but the motivation wasn't really there. But I discovered my why when I saw my dad's casket being lowered into the ground, and I realized that life is short, and without having health, you have no wealth. Health is wealth. And I wanted to be around longer for dreams come to pass. So, in earnest, that motivation started around that time. So, any dream, any execution of any dream, underlying the execution of any dream is your why. W-H-Y. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why the struggle to the top?
Because you realize we are living in a society where most people are just existing. They are not living because they haven't figured out their why. So from hearing you mentioning about your journey, it shows that you've identified your why and you are pursuing your goals because you have a reason to do so. And which is commendable because it's not easy, like I mentioned earlier on. It takes discipline, consistency. Sometimes I'm sure you have experienced it. You wake up not feeling like going to the gym, but you still go.
Yeah, it's the 5 second rule that I mentioned about. You count up to 5, the minute you bed. Don't start scrolling on reels and TikTok. You just get out of bed, get dressed, and get it done. That's the bottom line of execution. It's about getting it done. Yeah. And so, again, part of that has to do with also vision. What is your vision for life? Vision is simply this: a mental picture of a preferred, God-given mental picture of a preferred future. If you can't see it, you can't build it.
That's the thing.
If you
can't see it,
you can't build it. You have to be able to see the end game before the game begins. In the words of Pele, the great footballer, what he would do, unbeknown to a lot of people, what Pele would do is he would actually dribble the ball without having the ball on the ground. People would see him just moving up and down, darting from corner to corner, wondering what is this madman doing. But when the ball came on his feet, he would execute what is known as muscle memory. Life is about muscle memory. It's about doing the small things before they become visible. And actually then becoming, little steps becoming huge leaps, and leaps becoming quantum leaps. And quantum leaps becoming fulfillment. And so, when we talk about, vision is seeing it before it is. Getting it done, doing the small things towards that. Nobody sees the struggle that Nobert has had. The sleepless nights, the anxiety, the fear, overcoming self-doubt, overcoming a sense of living in Zimbabwe, which is the next best thing, living in a war zone. Yeah. And getting it done in a context where the resources are not enough, where the money is not enough, where the opportunities you have to create on your own. And so vision is seeing it before going through all those things and saying, I'm going to move towards that goal. Yeah.
Oh, that's profound. As I was just reflecting what you were saying, you mentioned about identifying your why.
Yes.
Also, you mentioned about execution. A lot of us, we know what we're supposed to do, but we don't do it. We talk more than we act. And how have you managed to bridge that gap between knowing what to do and actually doing what is necessary for you to achieve the result?
I think always, I take this leaf from the woman I call Mrs. Efficiency. That's my wife. I call her Mrs. Efficient because my wife gets down, gets up when she's doing before she will get a notebook, she'll get a cup of tea in her hands, sometimes some ice which she'll be chewing, then she'll start writing all the things she wants to do the next day. We have to be mindful. Life is about mindfulness and intentionality. And intentionality starts with just writing down the things or noting down the things that you need to accomplish in a week. You know, my son, who's a hip hop artist, music producer, and also a music teacher, wrote in his book, in his diary, way before any of the things that he has accomplished came to pass. And he's got a studio, he's got a podcast of some sort, or a vlog, if you want to call it that, on TikTok. And he's got music that's actually being played on radio. He was on Star FM on Monday evening, as well as on yesterday in the afternoon on DJ Mox, showcasing his music. Now, why am I mentioning all these people in my life? Because they reward efficiency. For you to get it done, you have to be efficient. Yeah. And not only efficient, but you have to be effective. Yeah, efficiency and effective are two different things. Efficiency is having the oil to actually get to a certain place. But effectiveness is simply this full power to achieve results. Full power to achieve results. Life is about the bottom line, the result. And for you gotta list what you need to do. You gotta set daily goals. You have to set weekly goals. You have to set monthly goals. You have to set yearly goals, and you've got to set 5-year goals, 10-year goals. Yeah. Because in as much as you may want to do all the things that you wanted to do, if you don't have an idea of what needs to be done, you won't get it done.
That's profound.
And I'm preaching to myself. I'm sure Mr. Mafuko will understand that whenever you are a motivational speaker, a teacher, a facilitator, is that at some point you will have to preach to yourselves. Yeah. And so when we talk about, all that we're talking about right now, the journey and the struggle to the top, it's that you have to constantly be mindful. It's about mindfulness. The reason why I've moved into the weight loss space, not only as an aspirant, but also as an inspirer, coach of some sort, is simply this: mindfulness. You've got to be mindful. You've got to be intentional. You've got to be thinking. So I don't just wake up in the morning and just decide, I'm going to go to Cafe Lucha, I'm going to order the fattest donut in the place. I have to be mindful. That means that 5 days in the week I'm drinking filter coffee with no milk and with artificial sweetener, which is not candy or but stevia, which is a natural sweetener, because don't inspire by action. I have to be mindful enough to know that I have to stick to a low carb, high protein diet on a daily basis. And I have to know that I have to walk 10,000 steps a day. Even when I leave this place to go where I'm going, my next appointment, I'm not taking an in-drive from here or getting to a car. I'm actually walking to the venue of my next appointment because I have to get 10,000 steps daily. Because that's what it takes for us to maintain our wellness. Yeah. So mindfulness. Yeah.
Mindfulness. And being intentional. As I was scrolling in social medias, in Facebook, I wasn't stalking by the way. I was just So on the 1st of July, you posted something on Facebook, and you said, I quote, "It almost given up on music, but God has given me a fresh start."
Obviously, when we go through seasons, there are seasons in life. There was a season in 2000 and the year 2000 was the season of my group, Tigers of Love, which I helped co-found, where we did a number of hit songs, and that was way before social media. It was just at the time of the 2000 when cell phones had become a reality in Zimbabwe. Yeah. Facebook came much, I think came a little bit earlier than that. But WhatsApp only came to the streets in 2006. So 2000, there I was navigating my group's trajectory to fame and to impact. And we're able to do that within that period. I was at my peak. 2003, I stepped out on a solo career as Pastor G. In that year, I had 3 #1 hits on the then Radio 3. Chicken Lika, Walk Alone, Count Your Blessings. Were you born by that time?
Yes, I was.
All right. So, life is about 3 years in a row. I was nominated for the Best Gospel Artist at the Zimbabwe International Music Awards. 3 years in a row. Yeah. That year, all those 3 years I had #1 hits from the year 2003 to the year 2006.
Oh, that's taking more than talent. I think you've mastered the game.
Going on, there was another season from the year 2006, then I was involved in a continental group called African Union, and I'm going to the protocol, the post that I put on Facebook. There I am, going across Africa, doing music with the African group called African Rhythms of Worship. It was another season.